Hi everyone, welcome to the HDR Darkroom PRO tutorial. This is currently the beta version, which is available on the website. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very quick overview of the software. It's going to be available soon, first for Windows, and then for a Mac version will be available also. What we're going to do today is, if you can see my first tutorial video, it was about making an HDR image from a RAW file. Today we're going to do the same. In the first tutorial, what I did was I took an HDR RAW file, make it into an HDR, and then exported it to Photoshop and did some final adjustments there. As you're going to quickly see, there's a lot you can do here in HDR Darkroom PRO without the need of an external image editor. So let's create a very simple HDR image. What we're going to do is we're going to go and open a raw picture I already have here in my desktop, which is this one. This is a picture I took in Toronto, and as you can see, it's a very colorful picture. Please bear in mind it's going to be a little bit low because I'm running Windows in a virtual machine in a Mac machine. But the speed on this software is incredibly improved. It's very, very fast. Go give it a try if you haven't, because it's going to blow your mind away. Okay, so this is the original picture. This is the raw file. And one of the things you have to know about HDR Darkroom PRO is that it has an incredible, very powerful raw converter within the software. So if you just want to, process your raw files, HDR Darkroom PRO will work for that, and it will do an amazing job. If you're a little bit familiar with our standard version, you will know that we have three tone mapping engines, which is the local tone balancer, the local tone enhancer, the fast tone compression. So let's take a look at the difference between tone mapping the image now. And if you apply the local tone balancer, you can see all the colors really come out without doing anything else. It becomes a very powerful image. So let's go back and see, this is the original picture, which, looks kind of flat, kind of dull. And with a local tone balancer, it becomes a very powerful picture. You immediately have depth. All the colors that are there is incredible. And then, well, you can, you have your local tone enhancer, which is, the colors, they don't stand so much, but it gives you some kind of depth to the picture, which is incredible too. And you have your fast tone compressor, which you might want to use for certain types of pictures. I personally like the local tone balancer best. And we're gonna start with that, and then we have all this. Take a look. We can do basic adjustments, tone adjustments. We can work on the color, the details, the vignettes, and the noise reduction. So let's go one by one and take a look at it. So let's start playing with this. I'm not going to go into technical details about each. I'm just going to take you to the process, and you can see how the image ends up. So let's work a little bit with the strength. This is going to take some time. As I say, I'm a virtual machine. So I always like to really put some strength in the pictures, and then with the local lighting I can play a little bit more, because this, to me, this is the key, one of the key things when I'm doing my HDR. So it's local lighting, because it's like one way to see it is with strength you define how much of the local tone you want, and then with the local lighting you like emphasize the amount of the local tone balancer that you use. So I'm gonna go and probably a little bit more, because I want the colors to really stand out. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the basic adjustments, and you have your brightness, your contrast, and your saturation. So I think the picture around here is a little bit dark, so I'm gonna go and put some more bright in it. But you see, the thing is, when I make this clear, this also becomes more bright, and this is a little bit too much. My way to make this not a problem that this is too bright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more contrast in it, and this should become a little bit darker but be more upfront, right? So, and now I'm gonna do some saturations there because this has a lot of color that I want to bring out, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna saturate this a little bit. There we go, a little bit more, and there we go. Now it's looking the way I want. So now we have the tone adjustments, which we can handle exposure, highlights and shadows, and the white and black point. So let's work on the exposure a little bit. There we go. We can. No, that's a little bit too much. Okay, and let's work on the highlights too. Actually, I want to bring the highlights down because I want the black parts to be even darker and the highlights a little bit up. There we go. So I have a lot of white here. I'm gonna try to actually, sorry, that's the other way around, because I'm not gonna be able to recuperate that. So maybe a little bit of black point here, and maybe we can do a white. There we go. Now it's looking much better. And you can work individually on the curve. For example, let's take a look. You just add a midpoint there, and now you can drag it, and it will do all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. You just gotta try it and start working with it. If you want to go back, you just click here on this return arrow, and it will turn to the original setting. So let's play a little bit with the color. I'm gonna try with the auto. And now we're gonna go with the detail, and let's say we gotta put a lot of detail here because I want the picture to be very sharp. Let's work on the radius. That's too much. Because you see, there's a texture here. There is wood in this wall, and the bricks here, and we can really bring that out by applying. But then this becomes too the texture here becomes too noticeable. So let's bring it down a little bit the amount up. But I want to keep the radius up because I want the detail to be there. I just don't want there it is, looking nice over there. And we're gonna work a little bit on the threshold. Okay, here we go. Then you can do chromatic aberration and a little bit of vignette. This might be a good effect here. And sorry about that, it's a little bit slow. Okay, so let's return this to the there we go. And now this picture, it has some noise, right? You can appreciate it right now, probably with the YouTube encoding, but it does have some noise. You're gonna do a noise reduction, and it's very simple. You just you just tell how much noise reduction you want. So let's go all the way up, and you can see it becomes kind of blurry, right? This is too much because I wanted to bring out the textures here, right? So what's gonna do? I'm gonna go back and just apply a little bit, just a little bit, so and there you have it. That's a beautiful HDR image with a simple process of going to each of the steps of this new version of HDR Darkroom Pro.